So I want to start by asking you a simple question. If you knew you were to die in a week, would you do anything different with your life today? 1 week, that's all you have. 7 days, only 168 hours to do everything you've wanted to do. Would you tell that cute guy in your bio class how you really feel? Would you become brutally honest and tell everyone what you really think of them? Would you brighten the day of every person you meet? What would you change? Okay, how about this? You aren't going to die in a week, congratulations. So what about that thing you said you wanted to do? You should still do it. That country you wanted to visit, book the flight. That color you wanted to dye your hair, go bright. That cheat day you wanted to indulge your craving, take it. And that cake you wanted to bake, send me a piece and I'll let you know what I think. The long story short is the only thing holding you back is the fact that you are so comfortable with being comfortable. Now, according to the research of Pew polls, 57% of Americans have never lived outside of the state in which they were born. And among millennials in the first quarter of 2015, 26% of those between the age of 18 and 34 still live at home with their mom and dad. Now, basically, we have the recession being over, so it doesn't seem to be an economic problem. But why are they staying put? For them, this is their familiar space. This is their comfort zone. Now let's first understand the idea of a comfort zone. When researching this topic, it's very hard to find scientific research of this all too familiar concept. The actual phrase was coined in 1923 for air heating in homes. But it wasn't until the 1970s in which it became a metaphor for life. So let's try to define this ourselves. The Google definition's here on the screen, but this is a very textbook definition. So let's see what this actually means to leave your comfort zone. If your comfort zone is the area in which things are easy and familiar, then when you leave must be when you finally get over that fear of the unknown. Am I right? But anyone can stand up here and tell you, move out of your comfort zone, life gets better. I don't really know your life or your reasons for playing it safe, but I do know that doing new things and making changes in your life will make it more interesting. So don't think of it as a zone, think of it as trying new things. Because technically, the comfort zone doesn't even exist. It's simply the act of playing life safe. In behavioral psychology, this is known as the status quo bias. Researchers have found that people make decisions on things they've already known. They won't try new things simply because it's what they're used to. A considerable amount of evidence is found to support this. For instance, Samuelson and Zeckhauser have found that many people would rather stay in their low-paying jobs instead of finding a higher-paying job, even with the chances of them getting that new job would be high. This is because they enjoyed staying with their comfort zone. They stick with their status quo. In their minds, they weigh the possible negative effects of change with the possible positive effects. To them, they're scared. But change is scary. It's also terrifying. I want you to say yes to things that scare you. There's one instance in particular that I was scared to try something new. And after I tried it, I never looked back. So do me a favor. Close your eyes and picture this with me. The wind is strong, the waves are crashing, and the music is loud. The smiles are wide, and I look to my right to see the smile on his face as he looks down. To me, it's just this other thing that I want to get over. But unfortunately, he knew me too well thinking I would back down. Little does he know, I was not going to give him the satisfaction of me backing down this time. I looked to see my fist clenched so tight that there was a stinging pain in my hand. Breathe in and out, I say, as if I needed a reminder. He's standing there mimicking a chicken at this point, trying and failing nevertheless. In particular, I was sure that the fact that I remembered all the times that I lost to him playing Monopoly as a child, that I decided I was ready to jump and I wasn't going to let him rule me anymore. I found a smirk on my face and clenched my fist and said, "Race you down." In that moment, I had no control over my mind. My body put me into a flip with adrenaline. I was slicing through the air like a slingshot. You would think that your mind would be moving in that moment, but no, it was blank. I was taking it all in. As I hit the water, all I could do was laugh at the fact that I was so scared before. I got out of my safe space, and I jumped off a cliff that day. Now I can go back to Ocho Rios and jump off that Blue Hole cliff because it's something I've done. And I don't regret the fact that I did it. I just regret that it took me so long. I left me that day with a great story, but I walked away realizing that I would no longer let fear rule my life. I was going to take those big leaps in life, and I was going to let it propel me forward. I used to always enjoy my little mundane bubble until I realized what life was outside of it. I could enjoy things I knew and saw no reason for looking out anywhere else until I saw how great it was to live a life outside of it. I became confident and fierce, and I'm putting myself out there more. I'm straying away from things that are comfortable, and I'm even embarking on a new adventure in about 171 days. But who's counting, right? I'm moving to Edinburgh to study law at the University of Edinburgh. Scared? Of course. Excited? Absolutely. I'm leaving everything I know behind, my family, my friends, this place I've called home since I was 6 years old. But let's put this into perspective. 2/3 of Americans don't even hold a passport, and that's by the State Department. So I want to leave you with this. Maybe you are someone that enjoys your everyday routine of eating at the same restaurants, visiting the same cities, and never changing anything. So I want you to, if you do that, you're not growing. So I want you to say that you're going to try new things. You can't tell me that Miami is your favorite city if you've never left the state. And you can't tell me that you really don't like Lebanese food if you've never tried it. So I heard this quote once. If you want something you've never had, then you've got to do something you've never done. In the end, the only thing holding you back from jumping off that cliff with me is your mindset. And every time we get near change, we stay clear of change because we fear change. So don't let fear stop you from doing what you really want to do in life. Jump off your metaphorical cliff and laugh about it later.